are not terrorists. They're radical Islamists who are trying to replace our way of life with their way of life. Their way of life is motivated by religious teachings that require me and you to be killed or enslaved or converted. The President of the United States tiptoes around the threats we face, and he is trying to diminish the religious aspect of this war. Why, I don't know.
Well, a lot of people have some guesses. Lindsey Graham telling it like it is, and Matt Lewis will tell it like it is. Senior contributor for the Daily Caller and contributing editor for The Week magazine. Matt, welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
You know, it's almost worse than that. I mean, if you saw the president at the White House yesterday, and a soundbite we've played over and over here, reacting, very, very monotone, no emotion, the same kind of lackluster and emotionless response he gave when the rabbis were slaughtered in Jerusalem with a meat cleaver. It just doesn't seem to shake him.
Well, I think that's right. That's why I haven't even commented on this part, because frankly, it's the status quo. This is what Barack Obama is. I guess if you want to be generous, you could say that it's a strategy, the no drama Obama thing. Don't let him see a sweat. But you know, certainly in terms of demonstrating the seriousness and the anger that you would think the leader of the free world would have, he doesn't show it. But what I'm more concerned about isn't the president, because we know who he is, and I think that's baked into the cake. But because this was a media story, to me the interesting thing is which media outlets were willing to be courageous and which were not. So I kind of see it through the media prism more than the terrorism prism, just because this is unique. As someone who's a writer, targeting people who do satire or commentary obviously could have a chilling effect.
Yeah, and you know, here's the thing. The president was basically silent on not giving in to terrorists here. And he could have said, just like he criticized Sony, oh, they should have come to me. Well, he should have said, you know, in his outrage, which he didn't have, he should have said, and don't you dare, to the media, don't you dare capitulate here. As I said to Sony, blah, 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 blah. But he can't, because they're thumping their chests about free speech. But we know that Jay Carney 2 years ago said, he took this very newspaper, this very magazine, rather, to task for publishing those cartoons.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I think this is a moment that calls for moral clarity. And if there's anything that liberals used to be for, it was for free expression. And, you know, the line, I may not agree with what you have to say, but I'll fight to the death for your right to say it, has really gone out the window. And we've seen that on other issues here in America, where there's been, I believe, the chilling effect of free speech. The Mozilla CEO who was pushed out because he opposed same-sex marriage. There are a lot of examples, I think, where this is really becoming a big issue. And it does cross the left and right lines. It's not exactly a left versus right paradigm. It's really, do you believe in liberal Western values? And I don't mean leftist. I mean liberal Western values about defending free speech, especially unpopular free speech. Or do you believe in appeasement and cowering and cowardice? And, you know, I would like to see a little more passion from the president.
Yeah, and where do you draw the line, Matt? I mean, you know, again, it's like, you know, with the terrorists, you know, oh, we got to understand them. Well, if you give in and you don't show the cartoons or whatever here, and next they come back and say, if the 3 major networks and all the cable stations have women anchors, you're going to all be targets. So what are you going to do? Fire the women? I mean, where do you draw the line?
That's right. Look, I don't think it's the president's job to tell a network that they have to show the cartoons or not. That would obviously be inappropriate. But I do think it would be a moment for him to show moral clarity and to really, you know, we're not going to back down. You are not going to get to us. You are not our assignment editor. That would have been very nice and refreshing. I have to say, I would like to see, I'm not going to make any endorsements here at all, but I'd like to see what a President Christie would have had to say on a day like yesterday.
Well, I wish we had, I wonder, you know, he's, I'm not saying he would kowtow to them, but he's had some questionable dealings and statements when it comes to the Islamic issue. Very quickly, we have a minute. You wrote a piece on whether or not the Christie cowboy hug, whether or not he will regret that cowboy hug of Jerry Jones. Do you think he will?
Well, I think he very well might. You know, look, these pictures last, right? The picture of Joe Lieberman kissing George W. Bush, the picture of Charlie Crist hugging Barack Obama. And, you know, I could see him going into Detroit, going to Michigan primary. It was the Detroit Lions game that the Cowboys won, or going into Pennsylvania with all those Eagles fans. That picture could come back to haunt him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Matt, we'll take up Christie next time, I promise. Thank you, sir. Matt Lewis, ladies and gentlemen. And when we come back, former House Majority Leader Tom DeLay will be here to give us his take on the leadership or lack thereof and on the John Boehner re-election. Don't go away.